We call things like smoking and gambling life-threatening addictions, as if social media was just another bad habit. The truth of the matter is, you're not going to build your dream life by scrolling for hours on end with a brain that's been stealthily nurtured to do so. If you feel like you're stuck in a loop, it's not because you're lazy or unambitious, it's because your focus, the very thing that you need to build your dream life, is being stolen by an algorithm, one swipe at a time. In 2026, the ultimate luxury is not being the most up-to-date on the latest viral trends online. It's the ability to log off and actually inhabit your life. However, if you don't understand how this social media addiction is being engineered, you're not just losing time, you're losing the actual version of you that's supposed to be building this dream life. In this video, I'm actually painting a picture of what's happening to your brain while you're scrolling and the real cost of your attention span. Parasocial relationships, digital isolation, passive consumption of active connections. Social media is no longer social. These platforms were created to bring us together, with friends, with family, connect with people in a virtual way. And if you think about it, it's not that anymore. Look at Instagram and how it started. We got to a point where if you're a millennial, Instagram at its height was about posting your best self, posting the whole hashtag goals, hashtag relationship goals, and all that stuff. And then now what you find is that these platforms have been designed in such a way that it took away the whole aspect of following someone and keeping up with what they were doing, whether that's your friend, your celebrity crush, or whatever it is. And now it's more about how much can we feed you, how much can we ingest or inject into your system that will keep you on these platforms forever. I think the joy of these CEOs and meeting investor demands is making sure that we're on the platforms for as long as possible, and that's the truth of the matter. Today I'm here with my points. Like, I do not want to miss anything. So we've moved from socializing, talking to friends, to monitoring, which is watching strangers. And if you look at your following right now, if you look at the people that you're relating with online, just do an assessment. Is it more about friends, keeping up with friends? What are your friends doing? How are they faring on? Or is it trying to make sure that you're up to date with the latest trends, making sure that the world hasn't been blown away to bits by certain people? And the luxury flex here is actually getting back to genuine connections and building authentic relationships. So the whole premise of my channel is building that dream life. And how are you going to build that dream life if you spend a good chunk of your time scrolling online for hours on end, or let me throw in there, binge watching things for hours on end on these social media apps, right? We've lost that sense of authentic relationships, authentic connections, looking to build relationships with people. Right now, I've seen we have AI influencers. We have virtually created people who they're not real human beings, but they have real followings. They have strong followings, they have engaged followings. And I've seen that mostly with let me say Gen Z, Gen Alpha, whatever it is, because this is what they've grown up knowing. This is normal for them. This is everyday reality, right? And if I can't connect with, that celebrity who's just so far away, then maybe I can follow this AI influencer who responds to my comments and, pins my comments and things like that. But then it's not a real person. And what I've noticed, interestingly enough, is that people now are getting tired of the whole influx of AI content, influx of AI slop. Just listen to the terminology that, has come up, because what is slop? What is brain rot? What's all that? Like, if you think about it, these are terms that we use every day, that in the sense that they express these things, they define these things. But how are we okay with, kids consuming slop? I have this joke with my sis. like the whole Italian brain rot. And I asked her, why is the brain rot Italian? Like, do they have nationalities now? Doom scrolling is a behavioral addiction that has been designed to keep you in the loop. Like I said before, these platforms have now been reconfigured in such a way that they're designed not to care about, how many followers you have, subscribers, blah, blah, blah. It's more about how long can we keep each individual on the platform. So for example, let me just use YouTube, right? Every time you log in and watch a video, you start off something called session time. And the platform's goal is to ensure that your session time is as extended as it can be. So when the whole TikTok thing started, really blowing up, the other platforms realized, which, as we can see, they look for the latest thing, for example, feeds and scrolling and all that, to make sure that they don't die, don't end up like MySpace, Vine and things like that. So you create a session time. Every time you log into YouTube, start a video, keep watching, keep watching, keep watching. The thing is, what are you consuming in that doom scroll session? And the whole thing about doom scrolling is that you keep going, keep going, keep going. So you don't really know what you're going to get next. People keep saying, I build my FYP brick by brick. I built this feed brick by brick. But there's people behind the scenes studying your click behavior. There's people behind the scenes watching how long you watch something for, and having these advanced systems that can now do the whole programming for free of millions and millions of people. Understanding, it's like they have a file on you. They have a file on you and I. C likes this is what she watches in the morning when she logs on to TikTok. I remember recently I was trying to learn how to do like DIY hair, a certain type of hairstyle, and then I realized, because I'm becoming more conscious of this whole doom scrolling thing, that every time I logged into TikTok, the first video that they would serve me, notice the terms I'm using, it's like food on a plate, is a hair video. And for the first couple of days, I was like, oh, this is excellent. Every time I log into TikTok, they've got me. I don't have to search for what I'm looking for. But it's because even your own mobile device, excuse the sound, your own mobile device is designed to, so I found out recently, it's called a digital advertising ID. So if you check, I think maybe I'll do a short video on this. Every person has a digital advertising ID, which means it's like you have an identity that these systems can track. So yes, your phone is listening to you. Yes, your phone is watching you. Yes, your phone has been designed or wired to make sure that when you log into these social media platforms, that they're delivering the exact food that you want. And I'll get to that whole thing about the feed. So by the time you're consuming, brain rot for 5 days, 10 days, 20 days, you get to realize that even sitting down to read things like books takes effort. It takes strength, mental determination to sit down and say, I want to read a book for the next 3 hours or 1 hour, just deep dive into that. Just like junk food, you're being fed something that's overly saturated in terms of the wrong kinds of nutrients. And if you're feeding this, we are what we think, we are what we see, we are what we consume. We are what we consume, because these things are fed into your mind, they're fed into your subconscious, and they start to shape how you think. They start to shape how you feel. If you consistently watch news in these unprecedented times that we're living in, you can't become the news that you're watching, because then you're hyper aware about what's going on. And I'm not against being informed. I mean, the other day I wanted to delete my ex account, and then I thought about how, I had this fear. I was like, oh my gosh, what if, country A bombs country B, and I don't know about it, I have to protect my family. So I gave myself 101 reasons why I need to maintain the app, still have the app on my phone. And yesterday I was looking at the old school websites and how they were designed. They were designed according to pages. So when you kept scrolling down, you got to a point where the page ended and you had the option to click to the next page or to the next section of that website. We don't have that anymore, because if I'm looking for, as many people to land on my page or my social media app, I need to make sure that there's no end to the scroll. There's no end to what I'm feeding you. And if you like what I'm feeding you, then you keep getting dopamine hits. And these hits become now like a slot machine. So the phone in your hand, your mobile device, or whatever you use to consume social media is a living, breathing, walking slot machine. And you are a participant in this casino of the world, whereby today you crank the slot machine of Facebook, if you still use Facebook, Instagram, TikTok for 3 hours, and then IG for 5 hours. And you're asking yourself, why haven't I been able to build a dream life that I want? But if you can just look and account for the time that you're using on social media, you could use it for something else. I know people who've deleted maybe all their social media except YouTube because they use YouTube to learn, or things like that. That's a healthy way of looking at it. You might not be able to go cold turkey initially, which is interesting, because then I started to ask myself this past week and yesterday, does that mean we're so addicted to social media, doom scrolling and our feeds to the point where, it's like an addict, right? You have to put your foot down and say, no, I'm not doing this anymore. That's crazy. I don't like using that word, but it's not right. And every scroll, every like, every follow, every share, for the right creators, for the right content creators, for the right, let me say, YouTubers or whatever it is, that helps them grow. It helps us grow. It helps me grow. It matters, right? In reaching the right people who care about this stuff and are willing to make a change in their lives and in the lives of, their loved ones and all. But for the wrong people, or the people who are, selling you propaganda, or, curating news to shock you and shock your system and have you consistently panicked, it's helping them, because the more clicks, the more the algorithm sends it out to other people who look like they're prone to like such things. Or if you've noticed, there's something my sister and I noticed recently. Well, not recently, it's been a couple of months. If she sent me something on TikTok via inbox or DM, and I didn't watch it, it appeared on my feed 2 to 3 days later. And the time frame or time span of that actually shortened. So now we have this running joke that, it's okay, even if you should complain that even if she sends it to me and I don't watch, that it will still show up on my feed. So she likes certain farm animal videos, and I'm not really a fan of them. So there was a time I found them on my TikTok feed, and I'm like, I'm not interested in this. Why does this keep coming on? So one time we were chilling, and she looked at the video, she's like, oh my gosh, I'm the one who sent you this. And then that's when we started coming to that realization. So if you start to notice these phones, it's like now they're interconnected with each other. The algorithms are so synced up. It doesn't matter what platform you are. If you've noticed, sometimes if you saw something on IG, not sometimes, these days it's like almost every time, you see something on Instagram and you liked it, you listened to it, you repeated it, especially with short form content. It rolls over again, starts again, right? Then you're telling the algorithm, I like this, I'm engaging with this. And then you go over to TikTok and you find the exact same video. And the question is, if you watched it on Instagram, why do you need to watch it? Why does the feed, or the person controlling the feed, think it's important for you to watch it again on TikTok? Anyway, that's food for thought. Let's curate our diets with the right things. Our minds are too powerful. Our minds are too sensitive to be left to somebody sitting down and organizing based off of your likes and wants and desires, that this is what you should be eating today, and giving them the power to shape your future, giving them the power to shape how you think, giving them the power to define, how you look at the world, what you see about the world, what you think about the world. A healthy mind requires a high quality information diet. If you've been struggling with doom scrolling, if you've been trying to figure out how to stop doom scrolling, if you've been tired of social media, I hope this video was really insightful for you. I'm hoping this was an informative yap session. I want to do more of these, and hoping I can connect with the right people who really want to have different life experiences, higher quality life experiences, and actually live their dream lives.